Okay, mic check. You should be able to hear and see as well. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, Montu. Good morning. Good morning, Raymond. All right, cool. All right, let's dive in. I'm your guide, your host, Mr. Blue, here with TradePhantoms.com. I'm going to be with you about an hour to give you kind of a sneak peek of what it's like in kind of one of our live trade rooms here at Phantoms, Trade Phantoms. Get the landscape mode on here, so it should be good to go here. And yeah, today's date, August 13th, which brings us to Tuesday. Yeah, most likely Eric A, my man. All right, looks like this is kind of somewhat well oriented here. So let's hit the charts. All right, we do have, or we did have. So a couple things. Number one, we did have news that just came out not too long ago. Today, obviously, Tuesday, August 13th. And we had in the US here, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, essentially about 20 minutes ago, give or take. We did have core PPI, okay, Producer Price Index, came in a little bit lower than expected. And it's worth noting to put on your radar that tomorrow morning, we have at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do have core CPI as well. Okay, so that's something that is a catalyst and could be a market mover. So PPI is a bit more less of a catalyst. It's still major, but it's less of a catalyst if you compare PPI versus CPI. So core PPI, core CPI is going to be one of the major things that the Fed is going to be watching for their rate cut. Okay, for their rate cut, which is so far priced in for September. Okay, so I just wanted to bring your attention to that. Okay, let me go and start this over. This is going to be think or swim. Okay, I'm going to be going over futures, and for the most part, futures, S&P, Nasdaq. I'll do a little oil, gold futures, and then I'm going to go over straight to some stocks. Mainly going. There's a lot of stocks in the world, right? But I'm going to be focusing mainly on the Magnificent Seven, the big FANG stocks. Reason being is because I know that the options are super liquid and a ton of volume. So the bid-ask spread on those set options are going to be decent. Okay, but before I get into that, let's just dive over into here futures. So I'm going to bring this screen up. I just want to check the VIX really quickly as I was setting up the YouTube here. I want to take a peek at VIX after the news. Okay, so VIX is fairly fairly quiet, down 4.20%. Okay, and so far we have tech, XLK kind of leading the way pre-market as well. So tech is a major sector, of course. Money flow starting to maybe come back into tech. I'm going to be monitoring that. I'm going to talk with you Phantoms tomorrow regarding that when I have a lot more time. Okay, so far tech is slightly higher XLK than the other sectors. Okay, and tech is still the dominant sector in the S&P 500. So that is going to be a breakdown here. That's going to be very important. Tech makes up 31% of the S&P 500. So, okay, so let's dive in. I just want to take a quick peek at the VIX. All right, so futures. Okay, again, this is think or swim. Okay, I have the S&P futures on the left. I have the NASDAQ futures on the upper right. Dow Jones lower left. Russell 2000 bottom right here. I have everything on the daily time frame, but it's worth noting that at Phantoms we focus a lot on the multiple time frame analysis, top-down approach, monthly, weekly, daily. Okay, it's kind of a quick little cheat sheet checklist for members to help with their trade plan and their top-down approach. Okay, we start from the higher time frames down to the lower time frames. Okay, even if I'm looking to scalp S&P futures, NASDAQ futures, oil futures, gold futures, what have you, for a couple of ticks, couple of points, I'm still looking at the higher time frames. Okay, monthly, weekly, daily, in terms of location, structure, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, we have a couple of candlesticks here that we just reference as well, meaning bullish candlesticks. Okay, bearish candlesticks as well. Location being most important and reliable, or better, the candlesticks that are going to be more in the proper location are going to be more reliable, if I can get my words right. And then the liquidity map. Okay, this is my favorite thing on the planet here. This is going to give you the order of execution of what to be doing when markets are moving. And we focus on getting on the right side of the market and cutting losers when we're wrong, riding winners when right. Okay, I typically bring that up every morning just to remind folks to stay disciplined. Now I'm going to open up this chart here a bit more bigger. Again, daily time frame on the S&P 500 futures. Okay, let me get some more time here. All right, there we go. So you can see, of course, we had a massive rally. Okay, and then as of late, okay, we had a deeper correction. Okay, which did not really surprise anybody at Phantoms, as I was mentioning that end of Q2. Okay, we did a VIX spike up to 65, which seemed to be a bit of a, I want to say misprint because it happened, but I'll talk more about that in detail tomorrow again when I have more time, now that the VIX is kind of settling back down. Okay, VIX futures did not really move in tandem with the VIX spot price. So that VIX 65 was kind of one of the things that was, I wouldn't say it was a misprint, but it was kind of it wasn't really as normal as what you would usually have. Usually the market breadth would be, a lot of markets would be, a lot of stocks would be really getting hammered when we see a VIX print of 65, but that's beyond the scope of this 1 hour session here. The point that I'm trying to make right now is, as far as where we are in terms of this macro bull market and this steeper pullback, NASDAQ pullback, 10% give or take, plus some off this nice little pullback here. So we're focusing on the monthly time frames. I'll talk about the NASDAQ in a moment on the monthly time frame. We were discussing that. The point that I'm trying to make here too, just getting to it, is we did have, after that big drop on Monday, August 5th, a week from yesterday, markets kind of just faded back higher. Okay, now we do have some supply that was kind of left in there, okay, on the upper left, which I'll talk a little bit about in a moment when I drill down to the smaller time frames. Okay, but I'm just giving you the daily reference as well. We also have monthly demand down here on the monthlies on S&P futures. Now, NASDAQ did hit this monthly level. S&P futures did not. Okay, so I know it's going to be hard to see kind of the numbers here. When I switch over to the darker background, you'll be able to see these numbers more clearly, and I'll give you some time to put some notes there as well for reference. Type in that chat again what that question was. Producer price index. I missed that question. It kind of goes away. If you want to type that back in, I can help you with that. Now of course. I want to focus, I'm going to show you the monthly time frame in a moment here. This is the daily. Now the daily is giving us a little bit of a lower low, lower high, and albeit, right? Now we have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Okay, and then all of a sudden this kind of cracked down here. Okay, so this upward structure on daily time frame kind of broke, and we have lower low, lower high now on the hard right edge. Okay, so that's something that you want to make a note of, at least. Okay, but remember the daily time frame, albeit it's a big time frame. However, it's if you look at the monthly time frame as reference, we did not break any lower the level in control. We talk about levels of control in terms of structure when you go through some of the classes at Phantoms. Okay, so the monthly level did not break in terms of level of control, and that is going to be down here in the S&Ps. Does the PPI data being released today impact any asset class that possibly trade? So data is important. Don't get me wrong. But one of the things that you'll learn is that the reaction to the news is right. You can have, let me put it this way, you could have good news, but markets drop. Okay, you can have bad news, okay, but markets rally. Okay, so it's one of the things where, yes, okay, there's a lot of smart people that go to school and get a really good education from Business Wharton School that study all this stuff. And don't get me wrong, it's important. It's a good input piece, of course. Okay, because data is important. It could be used as a catalyst to move markets. However, sometimes the data is one thing, but then the markets do another thing, right? So it's always going to be a thing where, okay, how do the markets react and respond to that? So yes, it's good to know how CPI and PPI affects the market, but you can't get married. Okay, if PPI does this, the market always does that. Okay, so it's not always a clean linear if this then that. Okay, so therefore, yes, of course it's going to affect it. It bumped the futures up just a little bit here. Okay, but there's also other things going on in the background too. Geopolitical risk right now in the background. Okay, all right, yeah, exactly. Trade the chart, not the news. Okay, there's also geopolitical risk that's going on right now between Iran and Israel. Okay, which I don't want to, that's kind of, it's out there. Okay, that could also affect markets as well. So hypothetically, this PPI data could be overlapped by something that happens breaking overseas. Okay, so just and as a trader, you always just going to be diligent and things like that, right? And exactly, you said it the right way. Trade the chart, not the news. Okay, but be aware of news, of course. As I mentioned when I started this session out, I made you, or I made note of that CPI tomorrow, which is going to be even a bigger catalyst if you compare PPI versus CPI. CPI typically is going to be a bigger mover than something like PPI. Okay. All right, cool. So I'll drill down in a moment. All right, make sure that we're going to pin this number here. I'll give you the numbers down in here on the monthlies. Okay, Nasdaq, same thing. Okay, you can see Nasdaq actually did in fact dip down deeper into its monthly level in control. Okay, so albeit even though the Nasdaq, which is a tech dominant, okay, technology sector, I had a deeper pullback. Okay, it did not, it broke this weekly level. Okay, after we took a nice little bounce, but we came deeper down into this area. Okay, and it did not break any of the monthly levels as well. Got that 200 pair moving average where as well, which is going to be a major moving average as well. Paul Tudor Jones loves that daily 200 pair moving average. I can see why. Okay, so we have some stuff here still that we have to absorb if this market were to go lower. Okay, right now I will say this. Okay, we are in the middle. Okay, we are in the middle of, I'm going to switch over back to the S&P futures just because it's a bit more cleaner because my notes are not as insane. But we are in the middle of this, bigger move down that we have recently last week. Okay, and then we kind of faded, retraced back up. So we are in the middle of this big move here, down, and then this retracement move up. So yeah, I know it's cheesy to say, it can go kind of anywhere, but just know that the location-wise, we're in the middle of this impulse kind of correctional wave right here. Okay, so yeah, just make note of that. All right, we have some space higher, we have some space lower. Okay, we have some space higher, we have some space lower, and right now I will say that the momentum is slightly higher just off this retracement move that we've been seeing over the past couple of days. Okay, so we'll see if that could be sustained. Okay, there's a couple other things that I look at as well regarding SPX options, SPY options, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, I can say the same thing for Nasdaq. I'm sorry, for the Dow Jones and the Russell 2000. Okay, Russell 2000 was trying to gain some strength here, but then it's back on the kind of weaker side of things as of late as well. All right, now I'm going to switch over here to the monthly, weekly, daily. Okay, as mentioned, focusing on the higher time frames. As always, I'm going to switch this back over to the S&P futures. All right, and hopefully y'all can see this a bit better. But real quick on the monthly over here on the left, you can see that we had an impulse, correction, impulse. So even with this nice little drop that we had recently over here on the left, on my mouse here, you can probably see on the left chart here. Okay, we did not break this level of control right here. Okay, level of control right here. Okay, so that's one of the major things that I wanted to make noteworthy of there. Okay, now last week we did close. Let me see if I could get this right here as a decent little hammer doji bar. Okay, so that is going to be something that if the bulls could take back hold of this market over the next week or two. Okay, there is a hammer. Okay, a doji. I'm sorry, a bottoming tail, hammer, whatever you want to call it. Okay, last week we did close as that. Okay, and if I'm looking at the, I use the 200 pair moving average and the 20 pair moving average. We are still closed above that. Okay, so there is a hammer bar yesterday from last week's close that could kind of catapult this market in the event, just based on price action alone. All other things being equal. Okay, non-political, geopolitical risk and inflation data. Okay, this could allow a catalyst for or allow a slingshot back to the upside with this major bull market. Okay, so that's noteworthy as well. All right, and on the daily time frame, we do have this somewhat of an engulfing bar here that could continue this fade retracement higher, as mentioned. Okay, now what I'm going to do here, if I'm looking at the monthly, weekly, daily here. Okay, I'm going to go to the intermediate time frame, the 60-minute time frame here on the upper left. I got the 30-minute here, I got the 5-minute here, and I have the 2-minute here. Okay, so we focus on 3 time frames for the most part. Okay, Phantoms is a foundation. Okay, 1 being your higher time frame, 2 being your intermediate or middle time frame, and then 3 being your lowest time frame. Okay, we want to get location, trend, zone. Okay, those are the 3 things that we're going to be mainly looking for. Okay, now when I'm drilling down to the 60-minute time frame, there's something called Globex traps. Okay, which which we talk a lot about at Phantoms. Okay, there's going to be a whole kind of class on that. All right, but in short, what it is, to keep it short and sweet, is we're going to map out what's called the Globex high, which is the overnight high. And in Thinkorswim, this is the gray space here. This is the overnight session. So as I took this blue line here, that y'all should hopefully be able to see a bit more cleaner here. And I put that up here to reference the high, being the Globex high. As it stands right now, it's about 54.09, give or take. It could be off by a tick or two. Okay, so just check your platform and get that right by the tick. Okay, so 54.09-ish, 54.10-ish, right? 54.09.25, okay, to be exact. Okay, and then we also have a Globex low. Globex low, the lowest low that we've had during the overnight session, okay, yesterday evening into early morning, and that's going to be 53.65. Okay. Now, as you can see, these markets have been fading up, yes, but over the past couple days, it's been kind of, I would say, slow, grindy. Okay. Markets have been kind of stuck in between some supply and some demand, and it's also been kind of stuck in between SPX open interest order blocks. Okay, so that's probably something that I might not be able to have enough time to get through today. But definitely tomorrow morning for the Phantoms group, I'm going to be talking about that because to rabbit hole, just really quickly down a little rabbit hole. Side note, this week is options expiration. Okay, monthly options expiration, the third Friday of the month. Okay, being the 16th, which is going to be in a couple of days now. We have the monthly option expiration. Okay, on indexes and stocks. Okay, so you can see an SPX, this one right here, I already had this open right before I switched over here because I have been studying the open interest in said SPX. Okay, so that's something that I need a little bit more time to discuss. Okay, regarding open interest. All right, but yeah, that's probably put a bookmark in that for right now. Put a pin in that, and I want to study gamma. Okay, gamma and options, open interest, and a couple other things too as well, GEX, checks, and all that kind of stuff too. But that's beyond the scope right now. I can feel myself going deeper down that rabbit hole and wanting to discuss that. But I gotta get back to keep this a bit more simple here. Okay, so we'll see if the markets can fairly open up. Tomorrow will probably be more of the bigger catalyst, being CPI. All right, but I'll be trading with y'all tomorrow morning, so we'll be on top of that. Okay, for this morning, a couple things for a Globex trap. I do have a couple things here pinned out: 54.25 in S&P futures, 54.75 in S&P futures, and up here is going to be a better one for a Globex trap. This is deeper into the daily supply up here, 5,600. Kind of nailed that 5,600 a couple weeks ago. Okay, prices just touched that and dropped down, so this could still be an area where if this market were to fill this space, this void up here. On the daily time frame and the weekly time frame with that weekly hammer, okay, this would be an area where I'd want to be at least taking some profit, okay, if I'm bullish or if I'm long. Okay, now this morning, okay, Globex trap above the Globex high. We do have some supply up here. The only thing with this is I want to put I put asterisks on this. I want to be slightly careful, okay, because this is these levels are not that I would say prime. Okay, they're not the greatest levels in the world here. Okay, and they're also developed. A lot of these developed during the overnight session, so they're going to be not as I would say strong or such a higher score. Okay, to keep it short and sweet, at Phantoms, you know, we score out how valid or how reliable or how strong, okay, or weak a level is. The higher score, the better. The lower score, the non-better, okay, or the worse it is, okay, just like when you're on a test score at school, right? So these are not the best highest score levels, okay, but with the kind of slow grind activity that we've been having for the latter part of last week, okay, Thursday and Friday, and then yesterday, of course, oh my God, the S&Ps really did not do much at all, okay, we were inside bar basically all day, okay, you know, these levels might be decent for maybe a pick off, okay, so if I'm bullish, I want to be at least be taking profit up here. Okay, and if I wanted to maybe elect to take a Globex trap, I'm probably going to be waiting for 54.75 here this morning in S&P futures to maybe pick off a quick little short-term Globex trap short. Okay, but just be careful with that because you're still going to be going against the macro bull market. Okay, albeit we've had a bigger drop in these said markets. Okay, now Globex low is represented by that blue line right there. Okay, and then the strategy is, okay, if we have demand, a prime level of demand below Globex low, and if I look down and left, this is all kind of trash right here. This is really not just to keep it short and sweet for time's sake, okay, to use the word trash, but these are not really valid, I should say, to be politically correct. Okay, these are just small little levels here, and really, if this market were to take a clip lower, okay, if we were to get some gamma squeeze lower, if these markets were to, hold out some offers and get some offers, then this market really doesn't have much to stop it until testing it down in here. Okay, so I do have a level down in here on the S&P. This is the 60-minute time frame here, so just be careful here. This is going to be a intermediate time frame. You always want to focus on the monthly, weekly, dailies. All right, there's a level right here, super obvious, a lot of time spent here, built overnight, so it's not as reliable. That's why I don't even have a price on it, and this is not even prime, meaning that this is a test to this area right here. So long story short is I'm going to be keeping the 51.55 here pinned, and the 51.20 here pinned. Okay, now again, this market would have to drop pretty decent for those to get hit. Okay, but probably not happening today. Probably not happening today. But I'm just giving y'all the lay of the land, so to speak, and where markets could potentially have open space and go. Okay, so there's really nothing below here. It's kind of in the abyss. Okay, and options has let me know that as well. Okay, with the options monthly expirations, I got SPX down here, I got SPYs down here. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff here. Okay, and there's a lot of stuff up here. Okay, and that's why I'm stressing so much with the members and phantoms, and even with you guys folks on YouTube here for free, letting y'all know that these markets are fairly stuck in between some supply demand. Okay, and some open interest. All right, so I'll just keep that there, 51.55, 51.22, and I did promise that I was going to go and give you the numbers lower on the monthlies. So give me a second here. Let me see if I can get more. Hold on. Matter of fact, let me do this. Hold on. I don't want this to take too much time here. Let me just put this on a darker background here just for a moment. All right, so you can see the prices down here on monthlies. Okay, so I got basically 5,000, which is pretty simple there, up to 5,035. Okay, 5,000 all the way down to 5,045. Okay, all right, those are going to be decent monthlies. Okay, so I have 51.55, 51.20 as kind of a retest to the bottom here. Okay, as a retest to the bottom. In the event that we did snap a lower low deeper into monthlies, okay, I'd pin the 5,035. Okay, and then the of course the 5,000. Okay, now 5,000. If I had more time, I'd discuss a little bit more of like what's called a liquidity sweep. Okay, I would not even be surprised one bit if they broke the 5,000, get people all fearful and nervous. Okay, oh my God, S&P futures dropped below 5,000. Okay, and then there's another little fresh prime demand level right there at on monthlies at 49.45. Okay, I got that monthly level right in there. Okay, so just make a note of that. Okay, there's going to be, that would have to have a new lower low. Okay, it could happen. I'm not sure. I doubt it, but it could potentially happen, especially now we have some geopolitical risk kind of fuming over there as well. Okay, so never say never in the markets. Okay, always be versatile and adaptable. Okay, I'm gonna do Nasdaq. I'm gonna go back here. Let me see. I'm gonna do Nasdaq very quickly. Futures. We'll take a field trip to oil and gold. Gold's looking really good. All right, so monthly, weekly, daily, and you can see on the monthly, if you can try to get my clear my notes here, monthly level came right down beautifully. Boom, slammed right into that monthly level. We broke this weekly level after the bounce, as I mentioned. Okay, I'm just going to get straight to the horse's mouth here and go to the 60-minute time frame here, 60-minute time frame, 1 hour time frame of the Nasdaq futures, Globex high. We're basically on Globex highs right now. Globex low. Right here. Okay. Long story short, same thing. If we break Globex low, do I have any demand in here? We do have some kind of levels here, but be extremely careful here, especially if we get a gamma squeeze. Okay, on these options. Okay, All right, when markets go sideways or slow lethargic, okay, you have a potential for a gamma move, especially on options expiration. Okay, so this week is options expiration, so gamma is most sensitive. Okay, gamma on options are most sensitive. Okay, but I digress. I need more time to explain that. Again, this level, be careful with this one here. All right, very obvious. I would not be surprised one bit in the event that we did drop. Okay, we would have liquidity sweeps below here. I'm going to keep this 17,367 level pinned, which was a monthly level down in here. Beautifully, that's the low of the Nasdaq futures as it stands right now. You can see we just dipped into there. Okay, we bounced it right out. So since it dipped in just very briefly and then took a bounce out, there's a big imbalance down here. So in the event that we come back down here, we could again retest that bottom or maybe even swipe a quick little new lower low, but coming deeper into that monthly level. I got 17,201 pinned as well on Nasdaq futures. Okay, we had a couple levels in here, all right, that we pinned out. Globex chop short. We came in here, we took a little bounce down yesterday. Okay, so that level worked out. Slow grindy. Next level up would be 19,000. Okay, 19,000. I could see them potentially breaking above 19,000 real quick, picking up some liquidity, and then maybe taking a bounce down. Okay, so this whole level right here, 19,000, kind of call it 100. Okay, NVIDIA daddy. SPX daddy, you got NVIDIA daddy in here. Yeah, NVIDIA's looking good. I took a trade yesterday in NVIDIA actually. So hopefully y'all did good yesterday in NVIDIA. All right, Globex chop short, 19,100. So there's a decent little level right here. Okay. NASDAQ, we have 19,500 up here as well. And S&P futures tapped this daily level up here from a couple weeks ago. NASDAQ did not, because NASDAQ tech has been getting sold off just a little bit more than than S&P is. Okay, so we got a couple levels here. Okay, up here. And that's going to be areas where if you're long, maybe TP, take profit, okay? And then maybe elect to maybe take a quick little, maybe scalp short here. But again, be careful with that as these markets are trying to put in a foot here to potentially continue with its bull market, okay? CPI tomorrow. All right, oil. All right, oil. Some of my phantoms already know this, monthly on the left, weekly, daily, okay? Oil's been range on the monthly time frame for years, okay? We dipped down, okay? So just trade momentum in oil, okay? Don't get in front of the train of oil. The point that I'm trying to make is as it was going higher, it's been nice momentum higher, come up higher range up into the monthlies and weekly supply, then it slams lower, okay? And then we get lower down, only lower monthly and weekly range, okay? Put in a reversal candle, and then we're fading higher, okay? So don't get in front of the train. So this level right here got taken out on daily over here to the right, okay? Or on the daily time frame over here to the right, this got taken out. Should not surprise any of my phantoms members in here, all right? Because this level is in the middle of the said range, okay? On monthlies and weeklies, middle range. So this level, albeit, yeah, there was some supply here, etc., it got taken out because of the condition of oil is going to be more range, okay? So middle range levels, diddling in the middle, are going to be less reliable as markets are sifting out upper and lower range. So you want to be more oriented in taking your trades in the upper range and the lower range, and be careful of diddling in the middle. Momentum right now in oil is, of course, as mentioned in the past couple of days, has been up. Okay, if I drop down to the intermediate or the 6-minute time frame, if you will, okay, Globex high, Globex low. Here, Globex high, here's the low of said Globex. All right, and oil's going to be pretty decent here. These levels, as you can see, we had these levels pinned out here. Can barely pull back. The momentum is fairly decently strong. We do have a nice little level down in here. Call it, let me see. 78 in oil. Okay, so G-trap long, 78. All right, a decent IBI here, impulse, basing impulse. Okay, institutional order flow demand here. Okay, we also have another one right here. This one's formed overnight. I want to be a little careful with this one as it's overnight. All right, this one's formed overnight. Call it 77.25. Okay, so this one would be more aggressive down here. 77.25 in oil. Let me zoom in a little bit there for y'all. There you go. So this is oil futures. All right, decent little Globex trap long here. right, demand also confluent what we call the buy zone in the proprietary, the prop strategy that I trade. Okay. Yeah, so that'll be fairly decent there. You know, for a Globex trap short, I'd want to be upper range, upper higher range. We do have a gap up here as well. So the upper range, I mean, there's a level right here, but be careful. I'd want to be closer to the upper range as mentioned. Okay, so there's a gap fill right here. Call it 82. I'll just put 82, 80 here. All right. There's an unfilled gap up here. Okay, and again, as mentioned, I want to be a bit more patient, okay, for waiting for the right timing of location upper range, okay, for shorts, which is going to be deeper up here, okay, location lower down here. Now, momentum is a bit up, as mentioned, recently over the past couple of weeks here, okay, coming off that low monthly, weekly range here, okay, so I'd be a little more inclined, okay, to be all things being equal here, a little bit more inclined to be a buyer pullbacks into qualified levels of demand to wrap momentum to the upside. Okay, short sells or sells bearish. Okay, I would be more up here in that upper range there, as mentioned. Okay, we have gold. All right, gold is touching all-time highs, which is good, right? Especially in times of geopolitical risks, etc. All my phantoms know I've been macro bullish. Gold, this is gold futures, monthly, weekly, daily. Okay, it's been kind of slow and grindy on this uptrend here, but still holding its bids, right? So I'm just gonna go straight to the point here. Globex high, Globex low, same thing here. All right, process, system, etc. There's the Globex high in gold. Here's the Globex low. All right, you can see this level got blown out. Okay, as I mentioned, you know, I didn't even put notes on it or anything like that. You know, obvious level. I was like, this would not be surprised one bit if this market just punched higher above this level right here. Very obvious overnight session level, not strong and macro bullish trends is up. Okay, on gold. All right, so Globex high, Globex low. Gold's been getting really great lately. I've been liking it because it's been moving. Okay, so you could trade gold futures. You could trade gold spot, XAU USD as a CFD. You could trade GLD, okay, which is an ETF, which you could trade shares on that or options. The options are very liquid on GLD. Okay, so multiple ways to attack gold. At Phantoms, okay, we trade everything, stocks, futures, forex, options. Okay, so it's kind of a one-stop shop, kind of everything, right? Which is cool, right? I trade everything. I'm a freak with trading. I love it so much. I've been doing it for a long time, and I trade every single thing. Okay, even Pokemon cards. If you had Pokemon cards, all right. Even though I don't really have Pokemon cards, but I'll trade anything and anything. I love it. Love this business. Okay, IBI, decent here. Now this could already got tested right here. Okay, so we want to be a little careful with this one here. All right, we had an impulse. Okay, we had an impulse basing, nice little impulse here. It did get tested really quick right there. Okay, but this still looks good here. Okay, there goes my man Asher. Okay, Asher, Mr. Pikachu, Microsoft, my man. All right, there's a G-trap here. G-trap long. Bullish. Okay. All right, comes in about 24.84. I am not even going to map out supply. Okay, I would not be, this is all-time highs. Okay, so I would not be surprised if they punch a new all-time high and then you're in the abyss of all-time highs. There's no supply objectively. Okay, gold's at all-time highs, so be careful. Okay, trying not to be a hero of trying to short gold at all-time highs to try to catch the top. Good luck with that. All right, that's how many people blow their accounts. Okay, I'm not looking to be a hero. I'm looking to be consistent. Okay, pick off the low-hanging fruit. Why complicate things? Bug December. No, I do not want to. No, I do not, sir. Enlighten me, sir. This level is a decent one here, but it's been developed overnight. So gold does have some nice volatility. So just be patient, be careful with this. Okay, this was a decent level down here that was developed during the overnight, during the regular trading hour session. Okay, regular trading hours. So I'd pin 23, call it 50. All right, 2350 GL gold futures, 2350. Okay, I know I'm kind of going below these levels, 2350 down here. I know I'm kind of not pinning this level here and this level here, this level here, okay? Because they're not high quality, okay? They're not high quality. Yes, there's a move up, okay, but not all 24.93 Santo, 24.93. That's not a bad one there. I'm being a bit more conservative with folks on YouTube, okay? 23.93, which is like right in here. All right, but the 60-minute time frame, that's a great question. The 60-minute time frame has more of an IBI structure right down here at 24.84. Okay, so that's right below Globex. Okay, and there's going to be a bit more confluence with stuffs down in here. So you can maybe take a front for this. I would probably do Santo. Good to see you, brother. Okay, for this one, I'd probably look for a positive COG right here. For this one, it's going to be a bit more, and albeit, yes, we did have a quick little retest on the 60-minute time frame right here. You can see it on the 5-minute too, as well, that little test right there. Okay, because this is nice and fresh. Boom, quick little pullback, and then move out. Okay, so we might, you know, if this wanted to, because remember, we are closer to all-time highs. Okay, we are closer to all-time highs. So we might want to retrace a bit more deeper, all right, to build more, I would say, liquidity and steam, so and juice, if you will, all right, to sift out lower demand levels, okay, to get you know, higher, more liquidity, okay, for maybe a punch higher, right? Does that make sense? All right, so don't get me wrong, I would pin that. Don't get me wrong, it's an area of interest in terms of just structure and level of demand, okay, but I'd be extremely careful on the 24.93 handle right here. Does that make sense? All right, so I put an asterisk here. This is fairly aggressive for a G-trap long. Oh, Sean, I'm sorry about that. There you go, Sean, my man. Yeah, my man. How you doing, brother? How you doing? Yes, sir. I know you. Yeah, I was just joking with you, brother. That you know, in chat, man. But I feel your passion. I feel your you got the attitude, brother. All right, you and I share that. So keep it up, brother. Keep it up. All right, that's the kind of passion and energy you need to be a monster elite trader. So keep it up, brother. Keep it up, man. All right, 24.93. All right, 24.93. So I think I mentioned that. Okay, just be careful with that. All right, just be careful with that. We might want to come lower there. All right, 24.84 would be a little bit more decent one there. Decent little Globex trap. Pretty decent. All right. All right, thick skin. Yeah. Traders, you gotta develop thick skin. All right. All right, cool. We gotta move on. About 6 minutes before the market opens here. All right, now there's a couple other things that we do. You know, I map out what's called the call put quadrant. You know, call put matrix. I can't do that right now. Okay, not enough time. We got 5 minutes before the market opens. We also are going to start to build again the SPX ladders that we do in the live trade room. Okay, especially when we have multi expirations here. All right, but what I'm going to do just really quickly is kind of transition over trading view here. All right, and you know, we got S&Ps, spies. All right, I'm going to go to some gaps now. As mentioned, I talked a lot about a lot of stocks, but I'm going to be focusing mainly on just FANG, okay, the Magnificent 7, just because of how liquid it is. All right, so I'm going to kind of steamroll through this. All right, one of the things that we check again is VIX. Okay, we check it overall. So there goes that abnormality with VIX spike 60s. Okay, I could probably talk about that for about an hour. I'll give or take. I'm not going to do it right now. Be on the scope right now. Okay, I'm going to map out the overnight high, overnight low in VIX. Okay, we look at it on the macro picture, higher time frames, longer span, what the VIX has been doing, but we're also mapping this out on the smaller time frames too. So there's the overnight high of VIX, there's the overnight low. Okay, long story short, if the VIX spikes and goes higher, markets should be dropping down. Okay, if the VIX is quiet, markets are fairly quiet usually. Okay, and then if the VIX is fading lower, okay, VIX down, market up. Okay, VIX down, market up, VIX up, market down, inverse correlation. Okay, so just map out the overnight high, overnight low to pin that. Okay, I'm gonna go with SPYs. Okay, SPYs have a daily time frame. I'm just gonna go over some gaps. Okay, you'll see the pre-market quote right here. Okay, so daily time frame here. Yesterday's close here. Okay, yesterday's high, yesterday's low. Okay, we always map that out. Last week's high, last week's low. Always map that out. That's referenced in this document here. Okay, all right, and so far pre-market quote up. So we do have an outside gap in SPYs. Okay, now we do have this space right here in this gap fill. Okay, we have this space in this gap fill here. There's an unfilled gap on SPYs. You might want to pin that 543. Okay, that's important. Oh, excuse me. That's important. I don't know if y'all remember, but we had this unfilled gap right here. All right, and that's where markets came into that daily supply zone in S&P futures. Okay, that was the high on that gap fill before the market really took a dump with that with the yen. Okay, with the Japanese central bank changing interest rates, which kind of shook the markets just a little bit there. Okay, the unwind of the carry trade. So we have slight gap up. Okay, outside gap. All right, now this seems like, okay, if this market were to continue to rally, this should fill this gap fairly easy, right? Just be careful with that, all right, because sometimes it takes some time to fill these gaps, okay? But that's that open space that I was mentioning on the S&P futures, okay? So we want to just pin that, okay? But as well, we always want to make sure what's happening in the how the price action and tape is developing intraday. Okay, Qs almost the same thing. Outside gap up, daily time frame here. Okay, we have this nice little level down here. This gap fill right in here. All right, so gap fills are very important. Okay, we talk a lot about this in the trade room. Okay, so unfilled gap on Nasdaq is going to be right here. Okay, and Nasdaq did not fill its gap, so there's another gap fill right up here. Okay. And yeah, so I'd pin that, okay, 460 and I'd say 480. All right, right now pre-market quote on NASDAQ is right here on QQQs. Okay, so yeah, again, we could potentially fill this gap here today. All right, but be diligent. Apple's been really great. All right, Apple pulled back just such a key technical level. Pretty simple if you've been studying markets for years. Okay, all-time high, break. Okay, break and then retest. Okay, and then Apple's coming off of this here. Got a nice little, decent little leg bar, Marabuzu, speed belt, whatever you want to call it. Okay, multiple names. Okay, so we've been rallying a bit more higher. Apple did fill its gap. Today, the pre-market quote, yesterday's close here, slight gap up, inside gap. Okay, so there's some space here. Apple's been relatively stronger than the other some of the FANG stocks. Okay, so there is some open space here. If this market were to continue and Apple were to hold bids as it's been happening, okay, we do have some space up here for Apple to continue to potentially rally, just as a quick little target for this week, give or take. Okay, as always, we want to make sure what the intraday tape is setting up. Okay, yesterday's low is here. We can use this what's called painting bars as we discuss in more detail at Phantoms with classes, etc. Training traders up. You can use yesterday's low as a guide and a reference. Okay, Amazon. So we had mentioned Amazon slight gap up. All right, Amazon has yet to break its kind of this area right here. All right, massive gap here. Okay, massive gap here. Let me delete these. Amazon, I'm going to be a little bit more patient. All right, inside gap, be a little bit more patient with that. Google, slight gap up, slight little pain gap. Tesla has been a nightmare recently. Inside day 1, 2, 3. This would be the 5th day inside day if we don't really move. Meta has been pretty decent as well. So it's been taking forever. Slight gap up. We had not clear this. Microsoft crossing this alert that I had. Microsoft actually decent. Outside gap up from yesterday's high, trying to break mother bar. I did have an alert here on Microsoft that just is going off right here if you see on the lower left. So Microsoft is actually decent for the bulls here this morning. Okay, NVIDIA took a nice trade yesterday off NVIDIA. Decent. Okay, it's like outside gap up here. Want to be patient. And then AMD, got some sold puts on AMD at the 120 strike. Netflix has a potentiality to potentially squeeze people out on this fade here. And AVGO. Okay, let me just get a quick peek at the internals really briefly. Just real quick. All right, it's like gap higher here. Advanced declines plus 1400. It's not as extreme, all right, but advanced declines are up. Vol ratio on the New York Stock Exchange versus up volume versus down volume is painting a +2. Positive and -3 is more extreme. VIX off the open, a little bit of a down click there. All right, VIX being my number one internal for markets. All right, Apple taking off. Let's see. It's going to give us. Now you can always wait for the first 2-minute bar to print, which we just got right now. Fairly decent bar off open. All right, be patient. NVIDIA as well. Microsoft. All right, so Q's got some space. All right, so you can get long Q's. Let me see, Netflix. Be careful with Netflix. It likes to play some games here. Google put in a nice wide range bar on the 2-minute time frame as well. All right, so I'm going to work off the Qs here really briefly here. So QQQ. Fang, yeah, Fang's looking good here for the most part here. Let's see, off the open here. So if you pick up the 457 call on Q, today's expiration for a day trade, it wouldn't be fairly decent here. All right, let me just check VIX really briefly. All right, VIX on lows, made new lows. All right, fairly decent here. All right, so I'm going to pick up these 457 QQQ calls here. And Q's kind of capitalizes on a lot of those FANG stocks there. All right, so I'll start off with the Qs here. 457. These already kind of moved and pumped a little bit here. All right, so I'm gonna get a fill here. All right, just got filled at 213. Lock that up for the 457 strike call. Let's put a line in that real quick right there. Long call there. All right, be patient. All right, we gapped up. We could maybe come down and fill this gap a little bit here. All right, so you want to be patient there. So long call. Meta's been strong. Now it's been in momentum here. It's looking good here. Fairly decent, but we are coming up into those daily highs, so I want to be a little cautious on that. Apple has a bit more space to it. Meta's looking decent though. Meta has relative strength. Apple is giving us a nice little print here on the 2s. I like this wide range bar off the 5 on Apple here. So if you look at August 16th expiration here, just this Friday for a quick little day trade here. If you pick up the 222 half, those are going for about $1.86, $1.80 give or take. So Apple, 222 half strike. All right, just put an order out there. And just got filled at 195. Lock that up. Put that line there, just to represent where I got long call there. All right, Meta is approaching, it's getting fairly high up here, so I want to be a little cautious on that. All right, got some nice momentum though right off the open. You can see markets are kind of pulling time here. Wide range bar off open here. We can lean against this bar. So we got a wet line is VWAP. Yeah, S&P, yeah, is moving a little bit here this morning, so we just broke Globex high here. All right, it's trying here. All right, Meta is giving us something here. I want to be a little cautious on it just because of that daily supply that we're coming up into. All right, we have a phrase at Phantoms, kind of, you don't want to get zucked. Zucked. Zuckerberg, Meta, get it? Options are fairly high priced, and well, they're Meta could be a beast here. So Meta is good, okay, decent. All right. Tesla, love to trade Tesla. The only challenge with Tesla is it broke, but on the daily time frame, it's been inside bar for like 1, 2, 3. It's been annoying on the dailies. Okay, so albeit yes, this looks like it wants to snap on the smaller time frames here. I do like that bar that's being put in right now, but it's been inside bar on dailies for a long time now. Yep. So you want to be a little careful on that. All right, Meta pop new high. All right, if you are in this, maybe TP some, take profit up there on those dailies. Now Tesla might go into a squeeze today. I was looking at Microsoft too. Okay, Microsoft is above here, above its inside mother bar break here. 1, 2, 3 inside days here on the daily. We kind of broke out here. Okay, so Microsoft might be fairly decent too. All right, but we're kind of fading down right now. So from my Phantoms, no, on this pullback, okay, we can wait for a positive CRG off VWAP. All right, Tesla might be coming into a squeeze here. All right, I do like it. The dailies are not good, so it's not going to get a great score here. We are above yesterday's high, but again, the mother bar is up here. So let me see, Tesla, if this were to squeeze, just be careful with this because it's been inside day. So if you get no fall through on this, it's because of that said inside bar. All right, but if you wanted to try to pick up maybe a I don't know, a 205 strike, you can maybe reduce. It's a 33 delta. There is a 64 open interest order block right here, which is if we get above 200, there could be a bit of a squeeze here, but it's very early in the week still. Okay, these are Friday's expirations. All right, but so long story short, if you wanted to maybe lower some exposure, you're risking in Tesla, but you might wanted to take this positive COG because it's an inside bar. You maybe pick up the 205 strike, and then therefore, you can lower your delta though. So if you're wrong, you won't get 222 hurt with these. All right, I'll pick some of these up here. 205 strike call here on Tesla. What are they going for? About $2.30, give or take. All right, and got filled at 237. Looks like they gave me. All right. Had a couple of decent shorts in Tesla last week, so I just got long call in Tesla. All right. Lowered my delta just a little bit there. Lilly looking good. Lilly's options are not as quid. Lilly is a good stock here for longer term. All right, you can see not much fall through right now so far off the open. Apple has a VWAP test. Microsoft did not give us that positive CRG. Google as well. All right, SPY's holding up a bit here. All right, Q's pulling back, so I want to be a little bit careful here, okay? Let me just check internals. Because remember, folks, on the higher time frames, we're in that middle. We're right in the middle of that that impulse correction, right? As mentioned. All right, VIX still fairly low. All right, so I don't want to see a VIX spike right here. Advanced declines still fairly high, decent. Vol D, not extreme, but it's up. All right, Q's below its VWAP. So this is why right off the open it wasn't. Which ones you hitting supply zone and everything? Sure. Right now the condition, yeah, we have a little bit of supply, but you know, on the dailies, you know, on the daily time frame here on the right, what am I on, AVGO? You know, we're just in the middle. In fact, we're in the middle. We're not even at a gap fill here. So like right now, we're not really at, we're in the middle we're kind of in the middle of the abyss here, right? With this big move down and then this trace move up. So right now, we were in the middle last week, but now we're even dead smack in the middle of this. So that's why, you know, just be patient with this condition right now. All right. Because daily supply is not until like, you know, up here, at least keeping it very simple. All right, so use your VWAPs. All right, just be patient. All right, a lot of folks will even, especially on a condition like this, where we're kind of in the middle of location wise, a lot of folks might even wait for the first 15 minutes for the opening day's range, which is still trying to being put in here right now. All right, so just always be chill, always remain in control. All right, and what the irony is that we have a gap fill. And to make matters even more, what's the word I'm trying to use here? To make matters even more, I'm not coming to a word here. Tricky this morning, I should say. There's a we're priced right here. We have a gap fill up above here, and then now since we gapped up, we have a gap fill down here. Okay, so getting really gappy, to say the least. All right, but there's no reason to get out of my long calls on Qs. We haven't even broke low on day here. And be careful, because what happens here is sometimes a lot of people will get scared out of a trade because it just, you know, they'll put the open day's range in, they'll come swipe below here really quickly, okay? Act like this market's gonna be, you know, act like it's going to, you know, fill this gap here, and then it swipes right back up, okay? So VIX is gonna be a major part into today. VIX is down 6%, trying to click a new lower low here. Okay, and you know, we're back above VWAP on QQQs. Okay, so first thing, even if we were to break below the daily low here today, okay, one of the first things that you want to check for is on this gap up. We could even retest yesterday's high, okay, and to pick up some more bullishness, okay, potentially on a gap up like this. Okay, so I would have even allowed this to potentially come down here lower on this retest of yesterday's high on this big gap up here. Okay. Looks like Tesla popped. Let's TP some Tesla here. I knew that if the options got if the price held above 200, there's some big open interest order block here. So Gamma is very sensitive right now. So let's TP some Tesla. Bought these at 237. Okay, I'm gonna sell some off here at $3. So TP means take profit in Tesla. All right, so I just sold some off at 305. Okay. Yep, Charlie. Yep, just gotta be patient. SPYs are upticking right now. You know, VIX on lows here. All right, Tesla just popped another new high here. I'm gonna TP some more here. SPYs, nice little positive CRG. We get long SPYs. I'm already hit my mark here for the hour. I'm gonna TP a bit more of Tesla here. All right, quick dollar. Take more profit in Tesla. And this is a pleasant surprise because of the inside day nature that Tesla has been having for the past several days. So just got some filled here at 335 on Tessie. So kind of squeezing a bit there on the 200 strike. So options is very important. Understanding options and Greeks, things like that. Good play there. All right, you can see Meta, I was hesitant because of that supply up there. Apple pulling back, it's on its VWAP. All right, NVIDIA just went positive COG. Nice little long call, NVIDIA, long call. Tesla's ripping. So NVIDIA here. Let's see if we got open interest here at 64. 115 this week should be interesting in NVIDIA for a squeeze. Even if you wanted to pick these up here today, 196, they're only going for about $1.90. We do have an official, what's called positive COG right here to work off of here. All right, so long call NVIDIA. I'm gonna pick these up here. 115 strike, 16th expiration. NVDA. I got some sold puts on NVIDIA that are working out very well. For more of the macro stuff there. I got filled at 191, where it just got filled right there, basically. Okay. All right, so that line right there kind of represents, give or take, where I got long here. Long call bullish. All right, geez, look at Tesla ripping. So I'm going to TP some more Tesla here. TP meaning take some profit. All right, 370. So from 237, I'm going to take some off here, peel some more out here, scale out some Tesla. All right, see if I can lock out some here at 375 handle print on the option premium, and I got 380, so even better. On the 205 strike call, they're going for 285 right now. All right, QQQs. All right, we got a new high in Qs. So our good friend and amazing member Joseph Openshire is mentioning we're going to TP some Qs. Okay, quadrant number 2, take profit. So equal to a new high. Let's TP some QQQs here. Geez, Tesla's ripping $4. All right, we can TP scale out a little bit here, especially I'm over the time here. Okay, so it's not a lot here, but I'm going to TP some. There we go. Nice little bump up on QQQs. TP some Qs. All right, just to get the morning started in QQQs, I got a 427 fill. Looks like they just gave me. They're going for 430s. All right, so a nice little scalp TP. Okay, if you're long at NASDAQ futures, I would suggest to maybe scale out of some too as well. All right, Apple's struggling, but it's on its VWAP, so just be patient. All right, let's see. Beautiful trade in Tesla. Pleasantly surprised about that. Long AMD, long Microsoft, positive COG. Let's see. Yep, good job, folks. Nice little positive COG on Microsoft. My Phantoms in here. So you can work on Microsoft here. I like it because we could also have a place where we could designate our stop loss here. So we don't really need it to be below on day anymore. If this pivot is going to work out here, we can potentially have a stop loss right below that pivot there, below VWAP in this level that's developed. All right, so potential for low risk there on ticker Microsoft. I might have missed a little SPY move here, just sifting through the markets, but it's all good. Very early. So you can work off this positive COG on Microsoft. Okay, as mentioned, I like it because you have a nice clear distinction of where stop loss could be. So if wrong, you can be wrong very quickly out. Okay. Let's see, so Microsoft, I got my timer thing going off here. There's some open interest here at 420, nice, 420. Yeah, you can work off some Microsoft here. All right, maybe pick up the 417, maybe the 415, go for 245. Any one of these are fairly decent here. All right. And so you got wide range bar off open here. Pull back to VWAP. You can work off this positive COG. All right, now I'm not going to be here to manage this with y'all. That's why, I already got to go. Now AMD looking good here. I'm already long Netflix. I'm not Netflix. Nvidia. So hopefully that pulls it up. But AMD is clearing its mother bar here. So AMD is today's a special day because we have inside bar. We're at daily time frame here. Okay, inside bar, inside bar, inside bar, inside bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inside bars this morning. We're starting to break. That a bit there. Okay, and we do have a nice little setup here. Nice little positive COGs here. All right, positive COG here. So anybody snag AMD? All right, I'm along NVIDIA. I took this positive COG here. All right, but AMD's right now outperforming. Well, NVIDIA's up more, 4% today, but off the open, AMD's kind of catching up, playing catch up there with NVIDIA. All right. All right, folks, that is my time though. However, in Phantoms for the group, everybody knows, I'll trade, literally all day. Apple is having some struggle here on VWAP. It's gonna be a bit more patient on that. Okay. We'll see on that. All right. But that's my time for right now, folks. All right, so I'll see some of y'all tonight at Phantoms, but if you're really, really new and this kind of floated your boat there, okay, you can go to phantoms.com. All right, www.tradephantoms.com. All right, that's the website there to get started. If you see a fit potentially, you can click that register button there. Very simply, just like everything, you'll ask for your name, your email. Why? Because on Thursday, August 15th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, about a 90 minute, hour and a half, give or take, class just to give you the outlay of how Phantoms operates. Okay, here's a quick little agenda syllabus of what you'll learn, how markets work from a professional side. Okay, myself, Mr. Blue, Mr. Green, Mr. Black, hail from all professional firms. Okay, professional traders. All right, I've been trained as a market maker out there in New York City style, or at least I should say, it's trained as a market maker style. Okay, so how professional analyze the market. All right, with the institutional order flow, demand and supply, multi directions, up, down, sideways, everything. Okay, selling options, buying options. Okay, doesn't matter the direction, just understand the condition. Okay, anywhere from growing small accounts into longer term small accounts, okay, trading for income, all the way up to wealth management, managing your long-term, bigger bucket accounts, so to speak, long-term investments. Okay, it's not just about stocks; it's about stocks, futures, forex, options, even crypto. Okay, so all asset classes. Okay, how we break that down and get trade professionally. Okay, with positive expectancy. Positive expectancy. Okay, edge, 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 edge. Okay, so if you want to learn more about that, that's the place to kind of start. Okay. All right, folks, gotta go a little bit over time. Hopefully, y'all did okay with a little bit with this little pump move that we just got and a couple of tickers here. All right, and other than that, I gotta go. I'll see some of y'all this evening. Trade safe, be safe, and no thoughts, no opinions, execution, strategy over emotion. God bless. Take care. Blue out. Yes, sir. God bless. Charlie.